Hey entrepreneurs, it's AJ and welcome back to Business as Unusual, practical motivation during uncertain times. Today's topic is values versus principles. And it's inspired by an article I read from one of my friends in my circles, Michel Hogan. Michelle is an independent brand counsel and she's one of the smartest people I know, and I'm truly blessed to be able to have conversations with her, whether that's a quick message or face-to-face catch-up. She is phenomenal, and every time we catch up, whether it's online or offline or whatever, she'll leave these things in my head called thought bombs, and they're just a little obscure sentence that she'll just blurt out at some point in time, and it'll get embedded in my head, and later on it'll just explode inside of there and take my thinking to new levels. And it blows my mind. So thank you, Michelle. If you're watching this, thank you, Michelle. And for all of you out there, please go ahead and follow her on LinkedIn because she'll take your thinking to new levels. So Michelle wrote this article on values versus principles, and I found it really interesting because I've always known that values are, well, I know what values are and I know what principles are, and I've never connected the two. And that's another skill of Michelle. She connects the most obscure dots out there. It's incredible. Again, go ahead and follow her. So in this article, to give you a bit of context, values within organizations. Well, look, it's a nice idea, the vision, the mission, and the values, right, in a large organization. And the people at the top set them. And then somewhere during the journey to the bottom, in between the people serving the customers on the bottom and the people who run the organization at the top, this middle layer here that we're familiar with, well, the vision, the mission, and the values sometimes get lost. And as a result, in this layer here, the organization operates very differently than what they say they're going to do. So there's a massive disconnect there. And Michelle's article seems to suggest that the disconnect between the values and what the company says they value and what they actually do value is the distinction between values and principles. And she has a very clear definition between the two. If the value is something that you're not willing to compromise, it's not negotiable on, and it sometimes can present a competitive disadvantage to you, as in, look, you're going to lose the deal unless you compromise on the value. If you refuse to compromise on it, then it's truly a value. Otherwise, it's a principle. And it got me thinking about, wow, that's so true. This is why organizations compromise on their values. You know, they don't do what they say they're going to do, or they don't portray in reality what they say they're going to portray and how they're going to behave, you know. And it's really interesting. And I got a crazy story from one of my entrepreneurial adventures to share with you a bit later on. But it's this notion of values and principles that really got me thinking. You know, principles I know are a set of, well, I call them guiding rules, guiding principles. So you might have heard of Amazon's 11 Principles of Leadership. Ray Dalio, the finance dude, I could call him the finance dude because he's not watching these videos. So he's come up with that book, Principles of Life and Work and Business and things like that. So most of us know what principles are, most of us know what values are. But yeah, it was just a really stark contrast that helped me sort of figure out, well, you know, why is this disconnect there? It's because people don't really hold themselves accountable. And again, the people at the top, people at the bottom, and the people in the middle don't really practice the vision, the mission, and the values between this layer. And that needs to change. That really needs to change, especially in this new world of operating that we find ourselves in. So I promised you a crazy story that demonstrates the disconnect, and this is the story I have for you. So a couple of years ago, I was on site working with this team at this institution. And they're very institutionalized, but I love this team. They're great, you know, and most of them have become friends of mine. And so one day I'm on site working with this team, and one of my friends comes up and says, hey, listen, remember that conversation we had about using this new software because they were trying to innovate, do something outside of the box to achieve a business outcome. So, you know, remember that software that you asked me to purchase? Well, I've got it all approved. I just need to go upstairs and purchase it with blessings from finance. So could you do us a favor and come with me? And I said, sure, no worries. So we both go upstairs, and my friend sits down in front of the computer and starts filling in the form, and he has me look over it. I say, yep, it's fine, no worries, cool. And then the finance guy comes in with the credit card and makes the payment. So the finance guy comes in, sits down, fills out all the details, and he goes to hit the pay now button to purchase the software, and he pauses, and he turns to my friend and says, hey, do you have the paperwork for all of this? And my friend says, well, yes, I sent it to you a few weeks ago. I don't have it anymore. Why don't you have it? I placed it on your desk. It's not there now. Can you take a look? No, it's not there now. Well, how do you know? Have you even looked? I looked. It's not there. But how could that be? I left it on your desk for approval. It all got signed. It's all set to go. Well, I don't have it now. What? Well, how come? I left it on your desk. Well, I would have thrown it away. Why would you throw it away? And this thing just escalates. Just crazy escalates, right? And so in the end, I jump in there and I pull my friend away and I drag him off because it's not good, right? And as I'm walking away, dragging my friend away, I look over at this other guy from finance, and behind him was this poster, and it listed each of the values of that organization. Values like professionalism, integrity, honesty, courage, teamwork, innovation. And within one moment, all of it had been violated. And we see that in most organizations because people confuse values for principles. They think, okay, values is just a poster on the wall, it has no real meaning. And that needs to change. We find ourselves in incredibly disruptive times, and look, you might be scared, you might be worried about how things are going to turn out, but if you can find the courage to dig deep and really use this as an incredible opportunity to rethink the way your organization operates or your business, how it could operate. Because after all this is over, we're going to go back to the relationship and reputation economy where trust is the new currency. And you can't have values that aren't throughout the organization. Otherwise, it's just a poster on the wall that people are just going to ignore. So things need to change, entrepreneurs, and I know using your circles, you will take this information and implement it in the best ways possible. And if you'd like further guidance and support, please get in touch with me. I'm happy to share my perspective with you to help things advance in this crazy new world that we're operating. All right, entrepreneurs, that's me done. Again, go follow my friend Michel Hogan. She's amazing. And I will see you on the next video. My name's AJ Kulatunga. Thanks for watching this video. And whatever happens in business and in life, I wish you nothing but success. Take care.